see it yet. There it is. Oh.
All right, we'll just do this real quick. All right. Hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. If you were just watching this on a live stream and it cut out, we were well prepared for that today. It's really hot. We're in the building and there's no AC. Well, there is, but we don't want to turn it on because it's not our building. We're very blessed to be in this building.
Yes.
But it's quite warm in here, but that's okay. If we suddenly cut out, again, we'll start another video. And we probably lost everybody that was on it, but
George just says hi.
so by the way, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and don't get terribly mad if we cut out again. If we cut out again, we probably won't restart it again today because the internet connection is really bad here for some reason today.
Yeah, sure why. I don't know.
All right, we have definitely missed doing shows. We haven't done a show in what, 7 days?
Yeah, what's up, Gene?
Gene Swart, what's up, bro? We haven't done a show in about 7 days. This time of year, daylight savings time kicks in, so we get an extra hour of sunlight. Our high school tennis team is definitely in the thick of the season. So between our increased lessons moving into the spring and into the summer, increased stringing, and then our high school tennis team, really this time of year is really tough to find a spare minute.
Yes, it is. I want to see a few more people. Let's see. Missing the breakdowns. Okay. Doing good. Just really busy with assignments. I think everybody's busy. You know, this is when everybody starts getting busy. School's almost out. You know, people are, I mean, it's busy here. There's a lot of people on the island right now.
I love to be busy.
We've been so busy. I mean, there's people, I think people got so tired of being inside that I've never seen it this busy before here. It's just so busy.
Well, the past year and a half, no one's been able to really do too terribly much. And
True.
Now we can kind of come and go as we please, so everybody's itching to get to the beach, right?
Definitely. Well, let's give a shout out to, I think you wanted to give a few shout outs before
my
shout outs?
Yeah, a couple of shout outs to start today's show. Number one, to my father. He was able to get a copy of a book that Gabriella Sabatini had written, her biography, the story of.
Yeah, My Story, Gabriella Sabatini.
Yeah, and the book is no longer in print, and this book has been well sought after for a lot of years. He was able to land a copy of it. I was going to show the book, but it's wrapped up, sealed tightly, and I don't even want to open it because the book can bring anywhere between, in other words, this book is worth $500 to $1,000 US. So I didn't even want to break the seal on it, but thank you very much for the book. That name, as you know, is very important to us.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, shout out to Michael Walker's mother.
Yes, happy birthday to her. I can't show her picture because I didn't get his approval, but she looks wonderful for 80 years old. You know, she looked very happy. She had her grandchildren, I guess.
Yeah.
So happy birthday to your mom, Michael Walker.
Yeah, big shout out to your mom, 80 years young. She's done a very good job raising a fine son.
Mm-hmm.
So happy birthday to you. Should we sing her a happy birthday song even though he hasn't given us her name? We can just put Michael Walker's mother in it. Come on, let's go. You ready? On three.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Michael Walker's mother. Happy birthday to you. Let's get down.
You know what's
Let's
funny?
go.
Anytime it's our kid's birthday, they're singing happy birthday, and I'm like, I'm just acting like I'm singing.
You're a lip syncer.
I'm a lip syncer. I can sing, but I'm just a lip syncer when it comes to that. There's another shout out. Shout out to Alma Bryant High School team.
Yes.
They're doing really well. There's a few students that I want to give a shout out to. Chris Gunn, who's doing really good.
And going to the University of Alabama next year on a scholarship.
Good job. Jonah, who got a 32 on his ACT.
Who just started playing tennis like 6 months ago, and he's already winning matches.
Yes.
Good for him.
We got Dylan, who's not really in the school part
Let's
of the team,
go, Dylan.
But he still plays and he's winning and he trains every day with us.
Yeah, Dylan started 2 months ago and has already being able to play matches, even they don't count for him because he's only in 8th grade and is already winning high school matches. So great job for Dylan.
Yes. Also Addison, who started with us.
Yes.
She's got her new racket, a Wilson Ultra. Good for her.
Come on.
And then we have McKenna and Gabriella also doing lessons with us. They're all doing great. Boys are number 2. Right now in their class. Christopher undefeated on his, so we'll see if he gets to go to.
Well, he's going to go to sectionals. He's
going to go to sectionals.
It's just whether or not he goes to
There's
state.
some politics behind all that, so we'll see what happens.
Last shout out to a viewer out there, Eon Enormous. Eon Enormous won our last show's prize or cash giveaway. He selected 2 sets of strings, and lo and behold, Eon Enormous is a local player in our area, and I have agreed to not only give him the strings, but to string his racket. So he has chose the strings, and I'm going to string it. So he gets the labor and the strings, right?
Yeah.
Great win.
Lucky person.
Here in just the next few minutes, I will be asking everyone a question. And again, there's not going to be too many people viewing today. We kind of talked about this. We understood that, hence why as busy as we are, it's not really in between majors. It's kind of hard to decide. Do we want to coach lessons for our bills, or do we want to do a show for 9 people? So we understand that, but we said, we've always wanted to create like some type of family environment. So whether we have 2 people or more, it doesn't really matter. Let's just talk about what we have written and have a good time with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Another shout out to my son,
Jonathan. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess they went through a thing called recognition for 3 days, and it was brutally cold.
Now, just for context, our oldest son, Jonathan, he's our oldest of 5 children. He's 18 now.
Yes.
And he's at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. I said strings because I'm thinking strings. Colorado Springs, Colorado, very elite school, and he went through his recognition week. I think maybe in college fraternity world, you might call it Hell Week or something.
Yeah.
But he made it through it. I think we have a picture to show you this young man.
There. Well, there he is. He's the tall one right here. So let me zoom in.
Yeah, right there on the right.
There he is.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So congrats again to Jonathan out there. All right. Some very big upcoming tournaments, by the way. We have Miami coming. We all know that Nadal has pulled out of that. We know Federer's not going to play it. Not that that matters anyway. We have Madrid, Barcelona, Rome. And then obviously the French Open, as I like to say, the Rafael Nadal Open.
He might as well name it after him.
And don't forget, when the French Open begins, we will be having the biggest fantasy team competition and prize giveaway competition to date.
Darko says, hello, I'm here, if you remember me.
Let's go. Donnie Darko.
Pleasure to see you. I was just talking about you.
Come on.
Yeah.
For this upcoming French Open, I get that it is in May, a couple months away. Don't forget the following. This will be our biggest giveaway ever. We're going to do $250 cash or any tennis racket of your choice strung to the winner of the tennis racket giveaway. And we're going to be doing 5 sets of Y-Tech strings. 5 sets to the winner of the fantasy team. And those go out to the top 2 finishers. So I'm giving away 10 sets of strings or the cash value thereof for fantasy. And I'm doing $250 cash or racket value, whichever one anybody wants. Be ready for that. Study, because a lot of these people will be studying already. All right. Give them a house update. We sit in these rooms or this room and we do the update or the show. But we're supposed to be back in our house on April the 1st, and our contractor that has taken 6 months to do a month of work was fired finally the other day. Come on! Let's go!
So happy when he got fired. Oh, I think who was it, Mitrovic, that always saying you should kill your contractor. Really, you should kill him.
Yeah. So there was a contractor doing our house. In 6 months, we've been living, away from our home. Again, very lucky to be where we are, but we're ready to go home. And we hired on another contractor, and there was only 1 worker. And in 2 days and a half now, he's had more done than a whole crew of supposed real contractors did in 3 months. Yeah. Just saying. There's some rip-off going on in there. Someone was tearing someone's head off up in there.
Obviously. Alice Fire said, by the way, it seems hard to get the Y-Tech strings in Europe. I will let Ivor know about that.
No. Okay, no, there's an answer for that.
There is? Okay.
Yes, I know the answer to this. And Ivor Savage, he owns...
Ivor.
I say Ivor.
But it's Ivor.
Well, don't shoot me. I'm not from South Africa.
Okay.
I say Ivor because if you're named Ivor here in the U.S., it's not Ivor. Maybe if you're there, but it's pronounced Ivor here. Sorry, I'm not... Just give me a break on that.
We should know by now, right, Ivor?
Look, Y-Tex has been on the market since we were like the first on board in 2011 or 12. So in comparison to companies like Luxilon or Prince or Gamma or Technofiber, and the list goes on, they're relatively new on the block, but not relatively new to us. We've been using them exclusively for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So his ambassadors and distributors are taking traction. But sometimes they're, look at your outlets, your stores, the people that sell it wherever you are. They may have their outgoing capital already tied up in certain vendors. But that time is coming. I know Tennis Warehouse is on board.
Tennis Warehouse carries them. Go to their site.
You can go to Tennis Warehouse Europe. You can go to Tennis Express. You can go to ytechstrings.com.
Yeah.
And the ambassadorship is international for sure.
Yes.
I know guys in Spain. I know guys in the Balkan area of Europe, Germany. So they're there. It's just in terms of being ubiquitous. It's just still kind of young, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's today's giveaway question, and we're gonna get into topic 1, which has to do with saying farewell to Roger Federer, and that's gonna be a good topic. But today's giveaway question is this: are you ready?
Yeah.
Let me refresh comments.
He said Tennis Warehouse Europe does not sell them. Then look on Ytech Strings. Ytex.com? Is it Ytex?
Yeah, or I can send you a couple sets on me. So if you give me your international address or whatever, I don't think international shipping is too much on less than £1, so I can get something out to you, and then I'll let Igor know.
Yeah.
And maybe we can send him this and let him know at the beginning. But either way, it'll be there, and I'll send some to you to try.
We'll talk about that, B-Dog. What's wrong with Sloane Stevens? She can't beat a tomato can.
We have that as a topic.
Read about that.
We had that as a topic.
What's up, Jesus?
All right, today's prize giveaway: 2 sets of Ytech strings or $20 US. And I wanted to write something that no one could Google, because we figured not a lot of people will watch, because this is kind of a crappy time of the year for tennis.
I can tell you that from the guys that I'm seeing here, they will answer this.
All right, here's the random question.
Yeah.
2 sets of Ytech string. I'll send it to you, pay for the shipping wherever you are, or $20 US, and Carla can send it to you if you have PayPal, Venmo, Cash App right now while we're sitting here. Here's the question. It's not Googleable, so don't worry about Google, okay? All right. Our second youngest daughter, we have 5 kids, so not my youngest child, but the next up, is a girl. What is her name? Who do we name her after? And how old is she? And if you've kept up with this, then you'll know.
So there's 3 answers. What's her name? How old
What's
is she?
her name? What's her name and age? And who do we name her after? And if you watched the beginning of this, you would know.
Well, shush.
All right. That's the giveaway. Topic number.
You gotta give all 3 answers. 3 answers.
All 3 answers.
Yeah.
Age, name, and who do we name her after? Topic number 1. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is it time to say goodbye to Roger Federer? Time to say farewell. Is it time to say bye-bye? Carla?
No, I don't think so. He's a lot better than some of these inconsistent guys. Sure, he lost to Bashvili at where was it that he lost? Rotterdam. I'm just looking at the answers. Gotta get all 3.
All 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even given them hints, Gene. Anyways, he lost to Bashvili, who hadn't won a match all year, who's been going through his issues, right? We saw him play against Evans, and that was a tight match. He looked rusty. He was shanking balls. It was good to see him, though. Classical Federer, with the beautiful strokes and the elegant walk, and makes everything look easy, but it's not. Those that play tennis know that it's not easy to hit a forehand, backhand, volley, or serve, Is he done? I don't think so. I just think he realized that, you know what, I don't have to play all these tournaments. I just better be selective with my tournaments. Why travel so much? Why do so much at his age?
I completely disagree.
I know you disagree with me.
And look, for the longest time, we've done this channel now for almost 2 years or 2 years and a little bit, something like that. I've always been the biggest fan. When he retires, I'll take my shirt off on this show and I'll show you the hugeness of the tattoo on my back.
No one's guessed it so far. I mean, there's a few of you have gotten certain things right, but no one's guessed it so far.
Name, age, and who we name her after. And we did a video.
They have several answers right, but just not everything.
Yeah, we did a video, a typical day at 5K tennis the other day, and the answers are on it, for the most part, anyway. All right. For the past 3 years, or 2.5 that we've done this show, I have said continuously that Roger Federer's done, and I've been treated with disrespect. That's okay.
Treated with disrespect. Oh
man, I've had people out there saying, "Are you crazy? I'm gonna unsubscribe."
Treated with disrespect.
Anyway, I don't. Maybe that was exaggerated. Anyway, it's not that I don't like the guy, given that I have his tattoo on my back. It's just that I've been around the game since I was born for 43 years, and I've coached it for 22. At some point in time, the 40-year-old body, or 39 and change, whatever, you just can't keep going. Your body doesn't allow you to. When you have a couple of knee surgeries and you've had any type of surgical steel implanted inside your body, yes, you'll get back to 100%. But to what level? How long is it before you start feeling it? Yeah, you can do that thing at 100% that you've always done, but how many days in a row can you do it? Do you see what I'm saying? At 39 years of age, look, I'm 43 and I've had so many surgeries I can't even count them anymore. Those surgically repaired areas are 100%, but maybe only for a day or two, and you have to take a week off, and then a day or two, and then you have to take a week off. I don't think any of these young bucks are going to let him play at 20% when he's hurting and then beat them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Interesting comment by Darko.
Read Darko. Let's go.
He says, my opinion for Fed. He can get Grand Slams only if he will be mentally, passionately, and physically on his maximum. And if Nadal and Djokovic will be on minimum, or these two guys will be kidnapped by aliens.
I like this comment. Look, Federer in the last tournament, and look, this tells you how much I haven't even kept up with the tournament that he played in. What was it, Rotterdam?
Yeah, Rotterdam.
I don't even remember. I've been so busy. But I watched the Dan Evans match, okay? He squeaked past Evans, but Federer looked old and rusty. When he was walking off the court...
Oh, it's Doha. That's how...
Doha?
I forgot the name
exactly.
of the tournament, yeah.
So when he was walking off the court, Doha or wherever, respectively, he's got this huge Wilson racket bag. It's like a 16-pack. I think we have the same bag, by the way. So he put it over his shoulder, and it almost seems like, he was kind of like a hermit. Like you ever seen those old kids things where like there's like some hobo walking through the woods with a twig and it's got a sack tied up on the twig and he's got his stuff in the sack? Have you ever seen this?
Yes.
Like a cartoon,
yes.
He looked like he was, he looked done when he walked off the court against Basilashvili. Now, good job for Basilashvili. Well, not really, because Basilashvili fell off the planet over the past couple years. He's been accused of what, domestic violence. He's been accused of this and accused of that. Now, when we first started the show, how many times did I say that Basilashvili should be a top 10 in the world?
Many.
How many?
Many.
Daily. How many times did I say Borna Coric should be a top 10 in the world? I think
Look, we've been wrong about a lot of players. So, I'm going to read some of these comments. B-Dog says, Federer brought his smooth swag back to the court. Endorsements. Love him still.
Yeah, that's
Michael
why he's
Walker,
there.
we wished your mom happy birthday. I don't think you were in the beginning. Federer isn't done. He's playing better.
We sang her happy birthday.
Yeah, we did. Federer isn't done. He's playing better than Jimmy Connors at 39.
Who says this?
Michael Walker.
Okay.
U.S. Open, 1991.
There's one person that will always out-debate me, and that's Michael Walker.
Yeah.
So, Michael Walker. I get he's not done. He's still playing.
You said done.
Let me rephrase that. He's done at winning majors, and he's done at winning Masters 1000s. He may even be done at winning an ATP 500. Maybe he's not done it at an
ATP 500? Do you want to make a bet on that?
Who?
You.
Look, as long...
You don't think he can win an ATP 500?
As long as a list of a few players aren't there. Let me start my list. Djokovic, Nadal, Medvedev, TM.
They never play the same tournaments unless it's 1,000 or a Grand Slam. Those guys never play the same tournament unless it's 1,000 and Grand Slam.
Federer just lost to Basilashvili in the middle of a domestic violence crisis. He just squeaked by Dan Evans for crying out loud.
You want to take a bet on that?
Yeah, hell yeah, I want to take a bet on that.
You'll have to do a tattoo of something funny.
You won't even let me give him a tattoo of Triple
something
L.
funny and ridiculous.
Man, I tell you what. Who
wants to take that bet with him? That Federer will not win an ATP 500. A 500.
Okay, I'll put the bet out here for somebody. Okay, I'll put the bet out here for somebody. Your dollar, $1. Your dollar,
$1.
Your $1 against my 50. 50 to 1 odds. Remember this. Your $1 against my 50. Anybody that wants to put $1 up.
Jack Nolte said, "Oh, come on, he can win an ATP 500 1,000.
Put your dollar
first
up.
game's back match fit. If that was Novak, excuses be made.
Put the dollar up. Just put the $1 up, but I can't take everybody's bet because if I lose, then I'm paying $50 to like a whole bunch of people, and I'm broke as a freaking. Put $1 up. Who wants to take it? But I want my dollar when I win. I want my dollar.
I like that comment, William Spencer. Bashvili wins the title. Chardy beats Hachinov. In
Let's
other
go.
news, Hell's just starting frosting over. Laugh out loud. I've been looking at the matches, like who's winning, who's losing. It's actually crazy who's losing. I mean, I wrote a few things about certain players that I could not believe who they're losing to.
It's Sloane Stephens. That's a topic for later.
Chile.
Yeah, well, we talked about Chilich.
Okay, Jack Nolte says, not saying he wins, but he
not just said he would.
Not match fit. We'll see in a few weeks. And Novak, yes, but Nadal doesn't worry him on grass.
Okay, can I respond to his comment there?
Sure.
Can you read it again and just stop it after match fit? Can you read the first part of that comment?
Let's go back.
If you can't find it, that's okay.
He says, not saying he wins.
Okay.
But he has no match fit, not match fit. He's
okay.
Not match fit.
All right, pause there. Federer's 39 years old. He'll be 40 on August 8th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you're not match fit, here's the problem at that age. I agree with you. He's not match fit. But he's going to need, what, another 6 months to a year of playing matches day in and day out. And then when you're not playing matches in tournaments, sparring with your hitting partner day in and day out, right? To become match fit, but approaching 40 years of age in months with two surgically or one knee operated on twice, he doesn't have the energy and body time left to get match fit. So being match fit, myself as a coach, I want you a year playing tournaments. So we have a student out there, and a shout out to her in kind of a bad way, but Kara, she's a student of ours, got all the brightest gifts, and she keeps playing matches and matches and matches and matches and matches, right? Sometimes you have to take a break from that and get match fit, right? Mentally, physically, and everything else.
That's true. But
and Federer needs to do that.
He will.
But he doesn't have a year left of getting match fit and then return to the tour
Maybe
and give it a go.
Maybe he just didn't feel like travel. I mean, there's a lot of traveling. I'll read the list of all the people that are not playing Miami. The traveling right now with the quarantine and all that is just a lot. And, sometimes... Like Nadal says, I'm not playing Miami Open. I'm going to concentrate on the clay. TM said the same thing. I'm not playing Miami. I'm going to concentrate on the clay.
And what is Federer going to do? Take the entire clay season off as usual?
He can.
Okay, well,
at that age, you got to be selected. Is he going to be getting
match fit that way?
I don't know. I mean, Serena got match fit by playing rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds. And, women's tennis is different, but still.
Also, I read this. I read that the Real Madrid, the Madrid Open, just had their stadium court redone to increase capacity for the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what they have in mind to christen or to reopen the stadium? Mm-hmm. To have Roger Federer, old man winner, and Rafael Nadal, the French Open guy, to play an exhibition there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we still look? We have this protected ranking system right now that Zverev and Rublev and everybody else thinks is hocus pocus.
Federer's playing. Gene said Federer's playing clay.
Okay, well we'll see. He's going to play the French Open and everything.
And Michael Walker says, "Do you remember Edberg won the U.S. Open playing all those 5-set matches? He could win a 500 event in a similar fashion. Never write a champion off."
But how old was Edberg then?
I don't know.
He wasn't 40.
But our bodies are different. His tennis is different. Edberg serve and volley.
Look, man,
serve and volley.
Man,
you can't serve and volley anymore.
Edberg was my idol growing up. That was my favorite player and still is to this day. Yeah, but you can't tell me that you can any way, shape, or form compare Roger Federer's 39 years old, coming off 2 knee surgeries and needing match practice.
One knee surgery with the same knee.
He had 2 surgeries on the same knee.
They weren't major.
Anything penetrating your skin going into the knee joint is major enough. Right? Ask Andy Murray, except his was in his hip.
That's worse, yeah.
Anyway.
And congrats to that guy for having 4 kids.
Well, speaking about...
He just became a dad again.
That's good for him.
Yeah, 4th child. Good for him. He loves kids. That's awesome. Big family like Federer. Also, what's her name? Taylor Townsend became a mom, too.
Good for all of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Zverev.
Well, I don't think Sasha or Alexander Zverev deserves to be in the conversation with those guys.
True. Congrats to the lady.
Can we talk for a minute about Zverev being a dad?
By the way, going back to Kara, you were talking about one of our students.
Yeah.
She doesn't watch the show, but this girl is improving.
She's improving very well.
Out of all the girls we teach, I have to say that Kara, yes, there have been some that have been close to me in sets, but I have to say that this girl, I play with her 1,000%.
She's striking it better.
I don't want her to ever think that she can beat me. If she's gonna beat me, she's gonna have to really beat me.
Yeah, I think you were beaten in one set by one of our students, and I think most of the time you gave the ball back to her.
Yeah, Kara, I make her move. This girl's strong, built stronger than me.
Yeah.
She's in shape, and I hope that this student that we have can reach her goal.
I think so.
I hope
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Alexander, aka Sasha, the puppy haters Zverev, for a moment. Okay, first of all, I do want to say congratulations for being. I can't say dad. I can't say dad yet, but I want to congratulate for him being a father. There's a difference, and I'm going somewhere with this. There's a difference between a biological dad and a father. There's a big difference. Let me explain this. Zverev was the first person to jump out and say, "Hey, I'm a daddy. You know, my child was born." However, the mother of the child was the first to say, "I have no communication with this person, and I don't care to have communication with this person." Mm-hmm. I'm not getting into that. That's not why I'm bringing this up. Not my business, and I wish the best for them as a nuclear family. Understand that?
Yeah.
I mean that wholeheartedly. I can't say it any deeper than I'm saying that. A broken family is a damn broken family, and it sucks. I was raised in one. Okay? When dad's not around, it sucks because it leaves mom to have to deal with a 6'1", 190-pound boy, and she just can't do that at 5'1" and less than 100 pounds, right? Speaking from experience, that's my experience. Anyway, any man can be a father of a child, but not every man can be a dad, right?
Right.
Carla is a good example of this. I won't get into this on the show because it's her business. Okay. Anyway, it's a huge problem these days. It's a huge freaking problem. How many young men are roaming the streets with no guidance because mom got knocked up and dad is not around? How many?
Well, I wouldn't say mom got knocked up.
No, I'm going to say it just like that.
Well, when you get knocked up, though, you're married.
Either way, some people get married and dad never shows up and cheats on mom and leaves the house and doesn't come home at night and all this other shit. Mm-hmm. Happens by the millions every single day. Sure. And the worst hit by it is the boys, the young boys. Okay, girls too, but the problem is for young men growing up without dads is they lack discipline. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. I won't get further into this, but if you don't want to be a dad, don't have kids. There's a such thing as karma, and karma will happen. Now back to Zverev. Hopefully Zverev is not that guy, but I can assure you that women these days are empowered and they don't need you anyway. Okay, understand that.
From the looks of the pictures that I see, I don't think she needs him. I mean, she looks like she's independent, so I don't think that she needs his help, nor wants his help.
No, Sasha, the puppy hater, whining sissy boy Zverev, Lindell firing because he had a puppy, is disgruntled with the ranking system.
I have to agree with him on that, though.
I agree with him here.
I mean, he's not the only one. He says he complained about the revised system. He said it was absurd. Because
and as well,
he said he is ranked number 8 and Federer's ranked higher than him. He says I would have, in the normal system, he said I would be like number 4 and not number 8.
Well, I think Zverev has made
he's made
a Grand Slam final.
He said I made a Grand Slam final, 1,000. Yeah. So he's like, what's...
And a couple other finals, I think.
Yeah.
And he's still outside of Roger, who grandfather time can't even beat a Bachelor's Vili and squeak by an aging Evans. Mm-hmm. And then we still think that Federer's going to, just walk back on court like some magician in the night that we've never seen before. He just defies time and is going to come win. Look, I don't even think Federer's going to win at 250 in Basel, where it's handed to him anyway.
Oh, my God.
I just don't.
Djokernole, I agree with your comment about George being... Said, George, come on, stop being general. Seems a very sexist and narrow comment. I agree.
What's a sexist comment?
He said, how many girls allowed to them for them to get knocked up? How many married?
Whoa.
There's so many married women.
Whoa. I got 5 kids.
There's so many married women.
Hold on with that. Sexist, not. I wish someone like Lori, our student out there, what's her last name? LeBlanc. Mm-hmm. I wish someone like Lori, someone like Rajesh Kumar, someone like Mike Walker would speak some sense here. Sexist? If you're going to have a child and you're a dude and you don't take care of that child, you're a bitch. And that's I got 5 of them.
He's saying girls, some How many girls get knocked up on purpose? I'm
Well,
sure.
I
there's
understand
many.
that.
I'm sure
I
there's
understand
many.
that. But isn't the dude that's responsible for the knocking up, isn't that dude somehow responsible for the child that may get illegally murdered before it's born? I won't get into that. Okay? I won't get into that. But this child that got knocked up on purpose is either going to be destroyed where it's legal, which is shitty. And then number two, the child will be born with, who's your dad? It's a problem. It's a problem. I'm not going to get into that.
He said that wasn't his point. Well, yeah.
Well, then what's your point?
I'm sure there's a lot of girls.
There's no fault here. It takes two people to tango. If you open your legs up, that's your fault, as well as the person giving.
Okay, anyway.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, yeah.
I got 5 kids.
I mean, these days now, yeah, you would think.
I would never leave my kids, ever.
With the technology that we have, birth control, other things, you would think that there would be less accidents, right?
There is no such thing as an accident. Not at this point in time.
I'm just saying.
Come on, this isn't 1943 or 1865.
But from what I read lately, though, not our generation, the generation after us, they're having less kids. So
excuses.
Obviously, they're being more responsible.
Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one. If you're going to create a child, you better damn well take care of it, or you're going to pay for it one way or the other in this life or the next. Squash the subject. This is about tennis and not parenting. But you better take care of your kids, or you shouldn't be able to do anything.
Yes. Anyway.
All right.
But going back to Zverev about complaining about the ranking system, yeah, I think he's right. I mean, I would become, huh?
Oh, go ahead. No, go.
Oh, I mean, he has the right to complain.
Oh, I was telling you something else.
Okay.
Go ahead. Back to your subject.
No, that's it. That was all I said.
Walking and chewing gum at the same time.
Well, when you're going like this, I have no idea what you're saying.
No, I said I needed to run in there real
Then
quick.
go ahead.
All right.
I'll read some comments. Let's go back. So Dorda says, I have 2 kids.
Let's go,
George.
George.
I'm sorry.
Let's go, George.
George, I'm sorry, George, because you told me how it was pronounced. It's George. Yes, I understand. And 15 years of marriage. Bravo, because 15 years of marriage. That's work. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Let's see. Why is ever last year? Jesus says maybe in Doha he was just testing the waters, saw what is still needed to win again, and now is back on training field and working on it. However, really difficult. Yes, I agree. Jesus, I think out of all the comments that I've read, yours makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure he wanted to test the waters, see where he's at. What more do I need to train in? Obviously, he's rusty. I think a normal Federer wouldn't have lost to a Bashvili who's been losing to everyone. Let's see. Sinisa says Federer could reach later part of Grand Slam but not win. Masters or 500 maybe. Yeah, I don't think that Federer could win a Grand Slam. I see Serena having a better chance. You good?
Yeah, look, I'm still waiting for someone to take on my 50-1 odds.
Everybody said they'll bet you $1. $1 and...
Can you select me one so I can collect my $1?
Oh my God, just $1. That's how confident you are, right?
I want my $1.
Just $1. He's so confident that he just bet $1.
No, I'm betting $50 to their $1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you weren't paying attention.
I never heard that. Did you guys hear that?
Give me the last person that put a $1 bet in. And if Roger Federer wins an ATP 500 or more, I will pay that person that bet $1 $50. But by the time Roger Federer retires in 2097, when he's still getting sold media placements and his rankings aren't changing, I want my damn $1. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to hold that $1 up and I'm going to put it on our wall when we move back into the house.
All right.
Got me?
Okay.
I want my $1. Who's going to take it?
I don't know. I'm waiting.
Come on. Give me that name.
I'll bet you. George says I'll bet you. George.
Okay. Count this. I now have a $1 out of his pocket, U.S., against a $50 out of my pocket. If Roger Federer wins an ATP 500, a 1,000, or a major, I will send him $50 US immediately.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, when he prepares his farewell speech and waves to everybody,
why do you say
I want my $1.
Why do you say it that way?
Why not?
I mean, to me, it's ridiculous that you would bash somebody for still playing, maybe because of the endorsements.
Because it's selling out.
How is that selling out?
You're supposed to have retired by now. He's just...
Says who? Says you?
Man, this is...
Who made this rule up? You?
Can you tell me another player at 40 years old outside of...
Feliciano Lopez is still playing tennis.
Well, what the hell is he going to
There's
do?
so many that should retire.
I'll take that bet with Lopez,
Cilic
too.
is still playing.
I'll take that bet
He
with him.
should retire.
Wait a minute. Cilic isn't even close to his age. Cilic's just like 34.
And plays worse. I wrote about him, how many people he's lost to.
Okay. Sounds like he needs to hang it up,
You
too.
are no one to say that someone should retire. Did you like when someone told you couldn't play singles anymore?
Well, I did it and ruptured my
You still
patella
hating
tendon.
singles? Did you like that? You are no one to tell someone they should retire. If you can still make money, if you can still provide for your family, if you are still that big in the game, you should not retire.
Did you just say can still provide for their family? Homeboy's like a billionaire.
So what? He wants to let it keep going.
No, it's about his ego, and he wants to still
How
see
do you
himself
know?
on
Do
TV.
you know him?
No, but I
If
can.
Novak can play forever, he will. Trust me. Maybe not Nadal.
Novak's
but
like 6 years younger and rolling off
I'm
majors
just saying,
like.
if Novak's 40, he can still. He's a big top dog guy. He'll still keep going.
I am dumber after
I
having
told
heard
you,
this.
if Federer was 50, he would retire, but he's not.
I'm dumber now. I'm now dumber.
You're dumber for saying that he should retire.
Dude! Right? Okay, I'm gonna squash this. Sorry for that.
Thank you. Venus is another one. Venus
But-
should retire.
but- okay,
But she's
she's-
selling her endorsement stuff.
The conversation
The
is.
conversation is like
do you think Venus? I'll take this $1 to 50.
Venus is worse than Federer.
Is Venus gonna win a? Okay, but the context is Venus Williams gonna win a women's premier? Is Venus? This is
Thank
my
you,
context.
B-Dog. He said Delpo's coming back. Please let him play.
Down.
Man, shut up.
Okay, so Delpo's gonna come. My context isn't that I'm happy they're playing.
Oh
my
my
context
God.
is the thought that why are you doing this? You're not gonna win anymore. That's all I'm saying. The only thing you're gonna do is gonna have more aches and pains when you're, 50, 60, 70 years old. Just spare the body. You're not gonna win.
How is that your problem?
No.
It's not. Right now we need names in tennis because sometimes it could be boring and some of these guys just don't have the personality.
Okay,
They don't have the personality, which means they can't reel fans into the game. They can't reel the kids that should play the game. Some of these players are just boring. Bashvili, Hatchinop, puts you to
But
sleep.
they're beating Federer.
Do you tell me that right now there's a kid that wants to play tennis because Alexander Zverev is playing tennis?
No.
Thank you.
But
There's my point.
you're missing the point.
No, you're missing the point.
You're missing the point because look, I get that they're playing because they draw people to the game, but my point is that they're not going to win anything anymore.
You're telling me that
That's my
Federer at his level with his messed up knee can't win something?
He just squeaked by Evans and lost to Bajulashvili.
His first match back, Justin.
First and second. First one tight, second one out.
Oh my
And
God.
then-
Here
and
we got
then
Kleisters. Here we got Kleisters, who's overweight.
She's like 97.
Overweight. She wants to come back and play tennis. She's trying. She's not fit enough still. She pulled out of several tournaments, Charleston and Miami.
So
But you don't give her grief.
I did 3 years ago when she came back with a double chin.
Dude.
I mean, I get there's people playing to draw people to the game. That's not what I'm saying. Bravo to them for that.
Maybe in Germany, yeah, maybe Michael Walker. I don't know.
But look, let me put
Maybe.
it this way. To squash this. If you are playing for the biggest fantasy team and prize a giveaway that we've ever done, that's coming up for the French Open, and you select Roger Federer on your team and Kim Clijsters, you're a fool, and you will not win, I can assure you. Does anyone want to pick them? I hope you do. I hope heading into the French
I
Open,
hope.
you choose Federer, and I hope you choose Clijsters, and I will still have my damn racket.
I'm gonna pray and pray and pray.
You guys are nuts, man.
I'm even gonna pray and maybe Federer wins the French Open just to shut your mouth.
I'm just telling the truth, Carla. Do me a favor. Anyone out there that's going to take 250 of my dollars, if anyone out there would love to put Roger Federer and Kim Clijsters on your tennis racket giveaway selection and on your fantasy team, I'll freaking laugh because you will definitely not win. Go ahead and do it. And I'll keep my strings, I'll keep my racket, and I'll keep the cash. Just saying. Okay, next question. How and where does Roger Federer walk away? How does he walk away?
Who?
Roger Federer.
He needs to walk away.
How does he do it?
To me, it would be the right place to. We're no one to say where he should walk away, but I think that he should play all the slams and try. And if he doesn't do good at clay, and if he doesn't do good at grass, then perhaps U.S. Open is where he should say goodbye.
How did Pete Sampras walk away?
He walked by winning the U.S.
Walked
Open.
off after the
Well, we
US
didn't
Open.
know he was. Yeah,
Okay.
he was. That's right. He cried.
Sampras-
I cried that day so much.
Sampras was much younger
Yes.
than Federer is now.
Mhm.
How did Michael Jordan walk away? Three-peated twice, I'm done.
Michael Walker said I could show her picture. Cool.
Let's go. This is Mom again. let's get into this. Let's show this. We're going to sing happy birthday again for this young lady. All right. In the meantime, think about how Roger Federer's going to walk away, and I'm going to tell you how I think he should walk away. Ready? This Michael Walker's mom? Oh, she's great shape.
Yeah, look at that. Elegant.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Michael Walker's mommy. Happy birthday to you. All right. How does
wait, sister to did I say sister to queen?
I hope so. Because that's
Fed
my
says
girl.
his season starts on grass. So why are you talking about the French? Oh, someone mentioned that
he's playing.
That he is playing.
He's playing.
That's the only reason I was saying. I was just saying I'm gonna pray and pray and pray just to shut him up. That maybe he surprises us and wins the French Open. Maybe Nadal says, you know what? I like you very, very, very much, Federer, and I don't like Djokovic, so I'm gonna give you the French Open.
Yeah, and look, there's going to be three. There's going to be three, maybe four that are going to make the semifinals of the French. You're going to have Djokovic, Nadal, Schwartzman, and Thiem, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you don't expect it to be super easy.
Those are her two
to win but on the ATP side, I'm guessing, and it hasn't even started yet. I'm guessing that Schwartzman will be the first semifinalist to go out.
I don't know. He just went out to.
Musetti
at the Mexico Open. That was shocking.
Okay, here's going to be the headline news for Roger Federer's next match. Musetti, the young Italian that took out Schwartzman, just bageled Federer. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
anyway.
Gene says he'll retire. He said in Basel in his hometown tournament.
Okay, I'm with Gene here.
Sister the Queen says Roger walks away at the Labor Cup so he can make money off of it. Laugh out loud.
Okay, I have both of these nuggets here written. I wrote here. Where and how does Roger Federer walk away? My option one was a victory in Halle because he's won Halle in Germany a lot. Mm-hmm. His boy Tommy Haas is affiliated with Halle. Mm-hmm. My option two was victory in Basel. Okay, that's a 250, I think, maybe a 500, I forget. Mm-hmm. A victory there. But I still don't think as long as any of the other top 25 right now get there. Again, he just lost to Basilashvili, ranked number 36. He squeaked by Evans. Anyway, I get he's rusty and he needs more match practice. But
Sinessa said, Justin, you are wrong.
I love you, though. And then lastly, Roger Federer retires after the Labor Cup. I'm with Sister the Queen here. I agree with her. Again, Sister the Queen is always the staunch.
I think she's joking.
Well, no, I think she's really being business serious here. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best way to go. Hence why I highlighted it. It's his tournament. It's his legacy. It's his trophy. It's what he has built, and now here it is, and it counts for ATP points now. Mm-hmm. I think that's the way he does it. I think he goes there and hugs his brothers and, does the whole cheesy thing where they're, supporting each other on the court. Kyrgios will be there and all these clowns will be there and they'll hug it out. I think that's the best way to do it because I do not think he will win Halle. No matter if Halle says, or Basel rather, we're not going to select anybody but challengers, and the only person other than challengers we're going to select is Federer. I still don't think he gets through all the challengers at 40 years old with no match practice.
I don't know. I think Jose P said, can he win Wimbledon retire?
Hell no.
I don't think so.
Hell no.
You would need Djokovic out of the equation, Nadal out of the equation.
Thiem out of the equation.
Thiem is lost right now.
You could put Basilashvili in there.
Thiem is lost. He won his one.
He's trying to regroup, and he said so.
He's tired. I don't know, man. Thiem is all mental, but it would take a nice draw in Federer's favor to win that Grand Slam. I think it'll be too tough. Djokovic is too tough to beat.
Yeah, and Djokovic is too hungry right now. He's too hungry, okay? Mm-hmm. Djokovic is now at 18 majors. Federer's at 20, Nadal's at 20. I can assure you, unless, someone has a bad day at the office and Nadal's about to pass at 21. I don't know who is going to come in and win on grass because, whoever's playing the best for 7 matches on that fast surface, depending on how the grass is growing, by the way.
Yes, that's true.
I think it's Djokovic's. I think the same way you can go ahead and hand Nadal the French, I think the same way you can pretty much hand Djokovic the Wimbledon title and the U.S. Open title only because he's that much better than everybody else. Now, Roger Federer, just two years ago, rather, had a couple of match points against Djokovic to get his 21st major, couldn't close the door.
Yeah.
Right?
That was his chance right there.
And then you have...
That would have been his chance right there to say, I'm done.
Yeah, and then last year at the French Open, I think Nadal's biggest challenge was the young Yannick Sinner in the quarterfinals or something? Do I remember correctly here?
It was the quarterfinals for Sinner.
So I'm just saying, you fought the Federer 2 years ago. You had match points. Federer serving. He was serving. Federer was serving at 40-15, if I remember, with two match points on his racket and lost. I just have a hard time believing now, 2 years later, knee surgeries, 2 years older, no match practice and rust, and not the time to get it in. That's going to change anything. But I do think Nadal will continue to win French Opens until he's like 130 years old. And then I think Djokovic will continue winning Australians,
and look,
Wimbledons, and the US's until he can't walk anymore.
Federer has nothing. Again, we are no one to say that they should retire. I mean, there's many on this list. Venus, why is she still playing? She's having a hard time getting through a first round. They still have passion for the game. They know there's money they can make. What is wrong with that? We see boxers come back and play.
Well,
because they're marketable. We see football players come back and play because they're marketable. If you are marketable, why not? I mean, some of these people go on Instagram because they can't play tennis,
Yes, I agree with you in a sense. But the boxers that you speak to, I'm a huge boxing fan, was raised watching it, footwork drills as a tennis player watching it. The boxers that generally come back get killed, i.e. Joe Louis. Brains get battered in. Look at Muhammad Ali, love him, one of my favorite athletes of all time. He didn't do too well, after all those blows to the head, right? You have people like Floyd Mayweather that, are so good defensively and they keep coming back because really no one's hit them in the first place. But boxers coming back is an issue because it kills them eventually prematurely. Football players the same way. They come back getting injected with all this shit just to get out on the field, and they pay for it later and have all these addictions to painkillers and so forth. At some point, you have to say, and these guys that I'm making reference to are hurting for money. Okay?
Yeah, but saying,
Federer is not hurting for money.
Again, neither's Venus, but they are marketable. That's the point.
They have their own brands.
Thank you. They should keep doing it. If I'm in their spot and I've won this many slams and I'm still getting the sponsors, I'm still going to play. Why not? Why retire and be bored? Why not keep doing what you love?
Doesn't Federer have like 4 kids though? Twins?
So,
2 sets of twins?
They've got nannies everywhere. They can travel.
I would rather be with my kids than any
nanny. He is with his kids. His kids always go with him.
I didn't mean...
I'm just saying, if I'm in his spot, I keep playing.
Did anyone
keep playing.
Has anyone out there answered the question for the giveaway for today? $20 cash US for the strings.
Nobody has.
What is our second youngest child's name?
You got to give me all 3 answers. Don't give me one answer.
Again, if you follow the channel, I'm surprised B-Dog hasn't answered that. Honestly, really surprised.
Maybe he doesn't need the $20.
Yeah, well, he can still answer and represent. All right, move forward. Okay.
Yeah.
Topic number 2. That was a long topic. Topic number 2 has to do with
we didn't show his new shoes.
Who?
Federer.
All right, we'll show his shoes.
Yeah.
The second topic, the second topic, by the way, is going to have to do with how expensive it is to travel on the ATP Tour or WTA Tour for even the likes of Andrei Rublev, right? So these are the Federer shoes.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Let me check them out.
They're called On. Right there. And we have some girls that wear that brand, but they're like cross-country shoes.
Yeah.
And they're like not cheap.
Look, the shoe thing. I love shoes. I've been a sneakerhead for 20 years or so. So ever since longer than that, I started getting Jordans in 89 or 90. So my math was way off on that. Anyway. Sneakerhead is someone that generally gets into sneakers. They buy shoes. They don't sell them. They don't wear them because you'd be an idiot to wear some because you even get a speck of dust on them. They're considered used. So I will buy super popular Jordans, super popular tennis shoes that have kind of some joint. I just bought a pair of Foamposite / Federer Vapor tennis shoes, but I won't wear them. I'm going to keep them in the box. I'm not even going to lace them up, put them under the bed, and pull them out 10 years from now, and then plan to make money, right? The shoes that you're seeing here aren't that type of shoe. You're not going to make any money on that. And
that looks like old people shoes.
By the way, they look like those Rockport walkers.
Like the ones your dad wears.
Yeah, the Rockport walkers. You remember
old people shoes, they have no style. So
Federer lost his Nike. He switched off, and now he's got the Rockports. I'm kidding. They're On shoes. So now though, you have again continuing marketability, like you said. Okay, but no one's going to buy these shoes. Why? because they're not available for everyone. You can go buy the Roger Federer affiliation with On, but they're a casual shoe. It's a casual sneaker. It's like buying a Rockports, right? However, his tennis shoe that he's been wearing was only made for him to play on the tennis court. So the sneaker now that he is behind with On is a casual shoe. It's a walker, just like he needs a walker. Got me?
You don't need a walker?
I have one.
Just saying.
I
Don't be
got
dissing on Federer.
Representing the
Don't
walk
be dissing on
club.
Federer when you have his tattoo and you are older than him. And
You say, how are you going to say don't diss on Federer when I met you a whole lot of years ago? You used to call him crybaby.
I just think it's wrong
you
that you
diss Federer from day one.
I just think it's wrong.
She's taking up for him now. When I met her, can I finish? When I met her, Nadal had beaten Roger Federer for the first time, and Roger Federer was like bewildered and crying, and she was like, look at the crybaby, look at the crybaby.
The fact that you said he needs a walker, well then you need a walker.
He's got walking shoes.
You need a walker too.
His shoes have negated the walker.
Just saying, Grandpa.
You can't walk out the center court women on a walker, so he's got his walking shoes.
All right.
Okay, Rublev. Let's talk about Rublev.
Yeah, when I read that, I was kind of shocked at that.
Andre Rublev, as we all know, is a dynamite tennis player. He's already amassed $10 million in prize money, and his career, not including sponsors, just prize money, and already in the year 2021 has amassed over $1.26 million in prize money. Yet, still cannot manage to get his own apartment. Think about that.
I don't feel so bad now.
Not including sponsors. Sponsor money is paid out more, annually on performance, monthly and blah, 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 blah. Prize money, hey, you win the tournament, boom, here's a check, and then you got to pay taxes on like half of that, at least if you live here. I don't know how it works elsewhere. But if you win $1 million at a tournament here in the U.S., at the U.S. Open, you win, the final, you get $1 million, you might as well hand $750,000 to Uncle Sam because that shit's going away, right? So Andre Rublev has won $10 million, over $10 million in prize money, not including sponsors, and over $1.26 million this year, and still cannot afford to even get an apartment. Why is that, Carla? He has to pay his team, he has to pay his crew, he has to pay for their stuff. How expensive is it to be a pro in the world these days? And moving forward, will it become any cheaper?
No.
No?
So Jose said, is he trying to get a Monte Carlo apartment? I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe.
That's a good question.
I mean, he should be able to afford an apartment somewhere. I mean, geez, with that amount of money, but...
That's a great question. That's the same question that I thought, and I was reading...
Well, Michael Walker says apartment Monte Carlo and Moscow are extremely expensive.
Well, Michael Walker, how much is an apartment in New York? It can't be much less. New York is crazy.
Well, he can go to Florida and buy a house.
Look,
a house for like $300,000.
Where I'm from, San Francisco, you try to go to downtown San Francisco and get an apartment there, you're going to be paying probably $10,000 a month.
Well, it depends where he wants to go. Homes, I mean, he can go anywhere. Bahamas, go buy a home. Go to Florida, go buy a home. It depends where you go. Maybe he just wants an apartment where he's always at. Could be in Russia.
Well, tennis players generally want to have a residence near where they train and play, right? Mm-hmm. So he can't come get an apartment here in Mobile, Alabama, because there's nowhere that's going to entertain his training.
Yeah, so maybe
he's Monaco.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he's going to have to go to some of these hubs.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
The Bahamas, there's a lot of different hubs out there, and maybe it's the hubs that dictate the prices because they know it's a tennis hub. I don't know. But if top 10 in the world tech material can't afford an apartment, what does this tell you?
Yeah,
that shit is crazy.
Tennis is expensive, and how much he's paying out, to shelling out for his physio, his coaches, his team,
Or maybe they're overcharging him.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is why teaching our kids education is number one. It's paramount. It's absolutely imperative. It is an absolutely a consummate goal. Has to happen. Okay, it is a lightning strike chance that even the best child on the planet will ever have an opportunity to play professional sports. I don't care if it's basketball. Look, I've been in basketball since I was very young. I got to like 16 or 17, and I was real cocky. I could play with the best of them, but at some point, people that could play better than me were like a foot taller, if not a foot and a half taller, and would eat me for breakfast and send my basketball to the arena floor, and they wouldn't commit a foul. It would be all ball.
Michael Walker says Monte Carlo is 4 times the price of prime New York.
That's hella expensive.
William Spencer says it costs so much to be rich in tennis now, and you end up poor again. Laugh out loud. Yeah, look at Becker and many others.
I think isn't Yvonne Lindell selling his mansion in
Yeah,
Connecticut right now?
I put here Yvonne Lendo. I said two people are selling their mansions. Which one do you want, guys? Which one can you afford, by the way? Yvonne Lendo is selling his mansion for
in Connecticut, right?
$16.4 million. It's an 18,000 square foot house, 4.45 acres, 10 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, full gymnasium, workout room, outdoor pool, 2 locker rooms, barn house, fish pond, and tennis courts. Or can you afford Serena's mansion in Beverly Hills for 6.68 million, 6,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a cell room, a cell wine room,
cellar,
pool. I mean, tell me, which one can you afford?
Why do you need it? First of all, okay, so
maybe one of these guys are looking for a house. I don't know.
I didn't know you wrote all that. That's great. Okay, so let me talk about the states. And no offense to anyone out there from these states. I'm from California, by the way, born and raised. So I don't hate on me if you're from California, like Carterri or anybody, because I think Carterri's Texas actually. Mm-hmm. No, I think San Diego. Anyway, that's my home state, born and raised. And Connecticut, I lived in Vermont for a lot of years, and so a lot of times we would end up in Connecticut. Anyway, here's my thoughts on both states. There is an extreme difference between rich and poor there. First of all, I'll start with Connecticut. I've been to Connecticut 1,000 times in my life. Mm-hmm. Everywhere outside of cities like Hartford, which is just absolutely poverty. People are hurting. It's almost like the people that are in poverty are crunched into Hartford, and then everything around them is just rich, just mansions, and super snooty people. I have played at some tennis clubs, indoor tennis clubs in Connecticut, and it almost felt like that I wasn't even on the same economic playing field. Mm-hmm. Even though my dad's a doctor, my mom's a lifetime school teacher, been raised in the game. You go to Connecticut, and a lot of these boys and players there are just like mama's little sissy, snooty, stuck-up boys, right? You know, they come from silver spoons. They got 20 million pairs of shoes, 300 rackets, all playing indoor courts year-round, never struggled in their life, and still live on mommy's couch. That's how I have an affiliation with Connecticut. And it seems like a lot of the high echelon economic people in Connecticut could care less of what's going on in Hartford. Okay. And it's a super small state. Go to Hartford, go to downtown Hartford, Connecticut, and then drive 20 minutes out.
I went through there, yeah.
Go to downtown Hartford, go through the projects there and all the brothers that are living the struggle that we've lived, and then drive 10 minutes outside and you find out how much help that these Connecticut silver spoon mansion living, whatever, give back to those people struggling in the city. Zero. Zero, negative zero. And there's mansions outside there being sold because they got 12 of them. And hey, I only need 11 now. Let me sell my 12th mansion and forget about all these people struggling in the streets. Mm-hmm. It's a problem. It's the same problem in California. In California, where I'm from, San Francisco, live in Southern California, you know, you have the Hollywoods and the Beverly Hills and everything else. And you go 10 minutes outside of there, you got tent shelters set up for miles. What are those people putting back into that? Nothing.
Why are you getting mad?
Because it pisses me off. Anyway, moving forward.
My Walker just stated some funny thing here. He said Celine Dion was selling her house in Florida for $95 million. It finally sold for $24 million after 4 years.
Good for her.
I
hope she took a loss because she didn't need it in the first place.
First of all, okay. Here's the stupid thing to me. You got a lot of money. Why do you need? I could understand someone buying a mansion with six bedrooms. You have a big family, right? Yeah. 6 bedrooms. But when I start reading 10 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms.
Bowling alley.
Why the hell
theater.
When we die, we can't take this with us. We can't take it with us.
Yeah.
Why do you need such a big house? Your kids grow up, they move out. Unless you're going to put your whole family in there and your second cousins
it's like,
and all that.
What's the need for it?
If I had all that money, I'd get a normal house. 4 bedrooms. 3 bathrooms, a tennis court because I want that, and maybe a pool.
Yeah, and look, and that's going off in the deep end. You know, we get a lot of people that communicate with us. Hey, why don't you watch this tennis YouTube channel? Why don't you do the same thing they do? Look,
David says I grew up with 12 people living in a double wide mobile home.
That's the real deal. Who said that?
David Bulich.
Let's go. That's the type of person I want in my trench because they know about fighting. Back to what I was gonna say. Hold on. So many times we get messages, and sometimes quite belligerent. Why don't you do what this YouTube channel does? Why don't you have all the setup that they have? Why don't you have all this microphone and computers that they have? Look, 5 kids, we don't have a pot to piss in, honestly, when it comes down to paying bills and what's left. We're very blessed to do the show in an empty church building. Thank God we're blessed for that. But most of these little YouTube channels that you're saying we should be like are mama's boys that are 25, 26, 27 years old, still living in their mommy's house in their bedrooms doing stuff with all their mommies and daddy's credit cards, and you're going to tell us to do the same thing. Think about that. We don't come from that. We don't have that. We work our butts off 12 hours a day in the sun, blistered lips, skin cancer cut off our face, ruptured patellar tendons, broken freaking arms, outdoor courts, no lights, cracks in them, continuously fixing cracks.
And then people.
And you're trying to tell us to do what Mama's boy does in Connecticut?
Justin, then people.
Let's be real.
People upset when we fix the cracks, and yet they live in nice houses.
Get lost,
think they
man.
know about the whole tennis thing, but they don't.
Man, we've struggled with tennis since we were born into it, and we're here. Everyone else that people do what they say. They don't talk about WTA. They just talk about ATP. Look at their background. Go look up where they come from. Go to Google.
If you have millions, for sure you would have big houses. There's no need for it.
Who needs it anyway?
Well, why do you need it? Look, we go to yard sales. We go to estate sales. And it's sad to see, somebody passed away and their kids trying to sell this stuff.
Heartbreaking.
And I ask myself, and this is why I always say, why do we need all this stuff? You watch all these beautiful dishes, silverware, furniture. They never got to enjoy it, and the kids sell it for pennies.
Pennies on the dollar.
I saw one room full of a Barbie collection, a whole family
brand
room,
new in the
boxes, and I'm like, why do we need this?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Yeah, she's right. We do a lot of our income by buying things by the penny and selling it by the dollar. We will go to estate sales at some of the biggest places that you can imagine, the biggest mansions you can imagine. And here the kids are, and the kids there have hired some auctioneering company to come in and liquidate all their parent stuff because you know what? They have their cell phones in their hand and are too damn busy to deal with it.
I'm telling you.
So they hire people to come in and liquidate an entire room of Barbies per se, each Barbie worth $1,000 a piece, still in the original packaging from the 50s, for 50 cents to $1. Why? Because no one has time to deal with it because they just want to look at this stupid shit, or they're still living in mommy's balcony or off their trust fund. And this is the problem.
Chill out, but I'm just saying, there are people that are rich and don't go bigger. There's many people that they don't go bigger. So, I mean, some people do, sure. But there's people that don't go bigger. I told Justin when the kids leave, I said, honestly,
I just want a trailer.
I want a small place.
I want a trailer.
Just travel. I said, I don't want a big house to clean, number one.
Yeah.
And then you have to upkeep it and upkeep it and upkeep it. It's no thanks.
You know what my dream is for retirement? Mm-hmm. My dream for retirement is to have literally a trailer on a lot that has 2 tennis courts in front of it. That's all I want. I want 2 tennis courts lighted with a little fence around, and I want a trailer that every time a hurricane comes, because I love hurricanes, and that trailer gets destroyed, I just get another one and set it right there. I don't want a house. I don't want a parking garage. I don't want a new car. I'll take my 1989 truck any day. Just give me 2 courts and a trailer, and I'll be the happiest person on the planet until I die, and that's a fact.
All right, next subject.
All right, next subject.
Medvedev, number 2 in the world.
Okay, that's a good subject.
He wins, what did he win? Marseille, right?
Is Medvedev deserving of being number 2 in the world?
No.
Given that he can't even play the damn net?
No. Definitely not. I mean, he definitely, with Nadal not playing a lot of tournaments, he gained from that. No, I don't see him as a number 2 player.
So,
definitely not.
Daniel Medvedev is our new number 2 in the world.
Medvedev will not win a major. You can bet on that with me if you want.
Someone said he's going to win a major?
Med will win a major soon.
Who said that?
David Vulic. Stop dreaming.
I'll take the bet. I won't take the 1 to $50 bet, the 50 to 1 odds, but I'll go 1 to 25 odds on that. If you want to bet $1 US,
Federer deserve being
I got
top
25 that Medvedev does not.
Knocking on the door.
Medvedev cannot play the net.
He needs Djokovic and Nadal and a few other players that can beat him to go away.
Medvedev has no net game.
Yeah.
You can't win a major 3 out of 5
Alex,
sets.
do you want to bet something? We don't bet money, but I don't bet money like him, but we can bet something.
Let's go.
And I guarantee you Medvedev will not win a slam.
You can't win a major an all-around game. Now look,
what was our bet, Michael Walker, of $100? I can't remember. Remind me.
Now listen, you can't win a major if you have no short court game. You have to be able to play the net. Now, I get it that if you're, a bomber from the backcourt, i.e. Del Potro, i.e. Medvedev, but you're eventually in those 7 matches going to play some player that's able to draw you into the net and then tactically exploit that strategy, right? Like our second oldest son, Chris.
Oh, so I bet $100 already that Medvedev will win. Okay, so I guess Michael Walker and I have a bet. I say he will not win.
We'll take that.
I'll take that.
Write it down.
Yeah. Here, let me take a screenshot.
But in 7 matches, you're going to meet someone that can play the short court. And maybe that's their only strategy. And when it comes down to battling out from another baseliner, they can't beat them, right? So just because Medvedev can outbeat the baseliners, I get it. When someone draws him in and can exploit that weakness at the net, then he'll get beaten. So it's not the player like necessarily like the Federer, the Djokovic, and Nadal that Medvedev has to worry about. It's that just challenger out there that comes out of nowhere. That their tactic is to draw him in, get him to the net, and then expose his net game. Medvedev's worst match that he can potentially ask for is the no-name guy that's really good at drawing people in and then passing them or lobbing them. That's who Medvedev has to watch out for.
I even go so far that somebody else will win a slam before Medvedev. Not Djokovic, not talking about Djokovic and Nadal, but somebody else that we don't really talk about.
All right. The importance of accuracy under pressure. Okay? Listen to this topic. The importance of accuracy under pressure. What does this mean? So many good players and great junior players, great senior players, great 3-5, 4-0, 4-5, 5-0 open players can go out on the practice court and they can hit ground strokes super clean right up the middle of the court. Super clean. Pow, pow, pow. Just whacking balls. You're feeding them balls right on the money. Pow, pow, pow. They can come out and you're like, okay, serve it up the tee, serve it up neutral, serve it out wide. And they're just killing it. Pow, 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 pow. Knocking it out of the park. Bring them up to the net for volleys and overheads. They're killing it. Pow, 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 pow. Just like slicing and dicing. Pow, 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 pow. Boom. Right? But then you put them at a pressure point, you put them at a 15-40, you put them at an add out or add in, rather, if you're serving or receiving. You put them at down match points, you put them in break point situations, you give them the same shots. Bah, 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 bah. Now you got shank, miss, long, wide. Oh shit, you suck. That's what you get, right? Why is this, Carlo? Accuracy under pressure is different than accuracy when you're just heading up the middle of the court, right? How big of a problem is accuracy under pressure for Daniil Medvedev? Huge. Yeah. He can get ready to close the door. He gets a little pressure on him. It's like he looks to the crowd for approval or some way to get back into it, i.e. when he played Nadal at the U.S. Open final.
Almost does not count. Let's go back.
Almost
what Naomi Osaka said. No one remembers second place. Almost. Oh, yeah. I almost made it. I almost got an A. I almost got married.
Yeah.
I almost died.
Look, I got $10 right now. If someone can answer this question, I mean, immediately, that means Google time doesn't work. Who did Rafael Nadal beat in the final of the 2000 and however many French Opens? You're not going to remember because no one gives a shit. Get what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Was it Curtin? Was it, oh, damn.
Almost.
Almost. There's no room for almost.
I thought that maybe almost Nadal just kind of said, let's make this a match.
Almost. Almost is second place. Yeah. No one cares. No one cares. Got me? Who did Michael
Dementieva almost won 2 slams.
Hell,
almost.
I almost.
Hingis almost won a French Open.
You know, Carla, I almost beat you the other day.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
You know, I almost didn't rupture my patellar tendon.
Federer was close to winning Wimbledon. He almost, right? Almost.
Federer almost beat Djokovic serving for the match. Who cares about almost?
Almost.
Beaten.
He was 2 points away. 1 point away. Almost.
Beaten and forgotten. Enough said. Almost. Who gives a damn? Okay. Accuracy under pressure. Why are the likes of now the remaining big 1.5? Now, we used to have the big 4. We had Federer, we had Djokovic, we had Nadal, we had Murray. We lost the big 4 to the big 3 with Murray's hip. We lost the big, I already forgot them now because they're so redundant, but we lost Federer to old man winter in time. Nadal has pulled out and is only focusing on clay. So now we went from the big 4 to the big 1.5, right? Big 1.5. Does anybody agree that it's not the big 4, it's not the big 3, it's not the big 2, but now it's the big 1.5, right?
Yeah.
With that said, do you think that the remaining 1 out of the remaining 0.5 will not pass unless not Roger Federer, he's out of this old man equation time frame theatrical performance like the king and queen in Britain bullshit. Have we brought up we've heard more about Meghan Markle? Can we talk about that?
No, we haven't yet.
Have we talked about on this? Here recently, we've heard more about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry than we have about tennis in the United States. Isn't the king and queen a theatrical performance in the first place?
It is. Who cares?
Look, I think Darren LeBeau out there, and I think Matt Cain. I know Matt Cain, and I'm fairly certain Darren LeBeau are in London now. Is it preposterous only to us in the U.S.? Because since I was a boy in grammar school, we've always been told that this monarchy thing in England or the U.K., no disrespect, because, I'm just speaking from the hip here.
Spain. Yeah.
Whatever. We've been told since grammar school here in the U.S. that the king and queen of England are a bunch of rich people with jewels that need to just shut up because no one gives a damn.
Oh, no, don't say that. You're going to offend
Look, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I was taught this in the 3rd grade. In California, a very liberal state, we were told that the king and queen, they're super rich and they have all the control of the money in the world, but in the grand scheme of geopolitics today, they're meaningless. So don't pay it any attention. So how is it that now, in our tennis news and coverage that we follow, we see more about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle than it is we see about the game of tennis? Mm-hmm. How is that? Mm-hmm. We see pictures of Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle at Wimbledon, and they're like, oh. I'm like, who gives a shit? The queen's meaningless anyway. I get there's some type of theatrical importance.
The queen is, if you're playing poker, is
but you know what's kind of comical is I think the guy that holds the international significance is like Boris Johnson, and he like show up at an airport looking like he just went to a freaking. He comes back from an airport like this. But yeah, we're supposed to focus on the king and queen.
You might want to wear a hat now.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on.
Oh, man.
We're focusing on Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and bullying over jewels and trillions of dollars. But yet the person leading the country is like rolling up hungover to a not a first class plane trip, but a coach one just to get back where the hell he came from. Because he don't remember. He's like, just show me to my seat. And that's the guy that I think where it really counts, right? He's like the prime minister, but he's so tore up he can't even find his own seat. That's worse than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Just saying, that shit funny.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, back to accuracy under pressure.
Who is an American? Oh, it's important. Djokovic is the perfect example, and Nadal, a perfect example when they are under pressure. I mean, they come out with incredible shots. Their accuracy is right where they meant to hit it. Yeah.
But our new number 2 in the world, Daniil Medvedev, if you give him accuracy under pressure, he just sucks it up, especially if you bring him to the net. So what does that tell you about the depth of the ATP tour right now? I know everybody's like, don't cover women's tennis. Don't cover women's tennis because they suck. Well, you guys call us sexist for saying some comment about being a daddy, but they don't say they're sexist when they're like, don't cover women's tennis because they suck. Even though Daniil Medvedev with no net game is number 2 in the world right now on the men's tour. That's freaking sad.
It's a bad message to kids out
there. Freaking sad.
You don't need to learn the net and you can just hit flat all day.
Yeah, you can stay at the baseline and huck up loopy forehands and you can come number 2 in the world.
He doesn't have a loopy forehand. It's ugly.
Sad, bro.
Yeah, no.
Sad. His weakness is his forehand.
Yeah.
Medvedev's weakness is his forehand.
I think
Djokovic called him out for that.
Even laughed.
And laughed about it.
He's improving.
But he's number 2 in the world, and you guys want to say don't cover women?
Here's number 1. Number 1.
Crazy.
And here's number 2 to me. That's Medvedev.
Crazy, man.
So this guy's here, and this guy's here. That's how much work he still has to do.
I'm so bored with the ATP tour now that the only thing we can talk about on the ATP tour now is Federer is withdrawn.
Number 1 Americano. I don't know. Who is the number 1 American guy?
Riley Opelka?
No.
Francis Tiafoe?
We got Fritz. We got Tiafoe.
Maybe?
We got, what's his name? You guys were just talking about him. Korda.
Just say the Joker.
Korda.
Any American player that's the number 1 American player right now, just forget about their name or being the American number 1 player. Just call them the half-ass
Who
player.
cares about the net game in the last 16 years? No one okay with net
Who
game?
said that?
Sinisa.
You're
Obviously, you don't play tennis.
you don't play tennis.
Because you have to
Get
finish some
lost.
points at the
Sorry,
net.
Sinisa. Sorry.
You have to finish points at the net. Even
Sinisa.
Djokovic has
Sinisa.
improved his net because of that.
Sinisa, I love you. You're always around. I won't disrespect you here, but you're naive from a player standpoint.
Wow.
You're not a player. Enough said. Move forward, because that's a shit comment.
That is.
You have no clue
even
about
Nadal and Djokovic have improved their net game.
Nadal started.
finish his points.
Nadal started rolling off majors when he began to even say himself, "I started owning the net."
Are you crazy?
Terrible
This
comment.
is what's wrong with American
What's
tennis.
wrong with everyone?
Oh,
Daniel
and
Medvedev.
Wow.
Whatever, man. Who cares? That's an awful comment. Very naive comment. Got to come better than that, because that's terrible. Played the game my entire life, Carla. Families, generations, we coach it, and I can tell you, the players that get beaten day in and day out are the players that cannot hit approach shots, come up behind them, and follow it with a good put-away volley.
Your body will go through a lot of wear and tear playing from the back.
Terrible comment. I give that an F on a scale of A, B, C, D, E, F. Terrible.
No.
Grow up there, because you're damn sure wrong. All right.
You need a complete game to play extremely well. Thank you, Michael Walker, which Medvedev does not have.
Do me a favor. Listen to Michael Walker.
All right, let's talk about Cilic.
Let's go.
I put here Cilic, man. This guy, he loses to Korda, Dimitrov, Chardy. I mean, this guy is on a losing streak. What is going on with Cilic, who won the U.S. Open? He won the U.S. Open.
No net game. Who cares?
He doesn't still have a net game? Look, he won. He won a Grand Slam. He had a net game.
That was like the worst comment of the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How can you be a tennis fan?
Can we name anybody that's won a slam and had no net game?
No net game.
Can we name one?
I don't know.
I mean, Delpo won, but even he approaches the net and tries to finish.
He's got great reach up there, has good feel, he's got good touch, he has good control up there. Andy Murray, the same way. Mm-hmm. I mean, how can you... This is the problem with tennis fans these days. Yeah. They buy onto some fan and they're clueless about the grand scheme of things.
You cannot win from back there.
As long as any player on God's green earth understands that some player doesn't have an approach shot, some player doesn't have a net game, and they are good enough to strategically bring them up into pass or lob, they're going to lose.
He is doing things well. Yes, and how, but again, when it comes...
You better develop a net game.
But you got to have a complete game. Let's start looking at all the slams. Well, it's mostly Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal that won the slams. Even Wawrinka, who won his slam, has a net game. Even Murray has a net game who won his slams. I mean, we could start looking back. You have to have a net game, which is why Sabalenka struggles and can't win a slam.
One gear forehand. Hit the ball big. Let me hit my passing shots. But what happens when you show up to the office and you can't make any of your ground strokes? Ask Sabalenka. Yeah. You better be able to approach
Nikolai, he says, hello, hola, my greetings from Serbia to your family and your beautiful channel. I've been watching your channel for a few years now, and great show. Keep it up.
Let's go, Serbia.
Off the subject of that,
get down.
Gene sent me something on Twitter, and it said here, I guess this was Novak Djokovic's dad. He said, Novak is invisible, miracle. He was sent by God to show that Serbs are not murderers or savages. The entire world knows he is the GOAT. The toughest thing for him is that he does not have the same support as Federer and Nadal. Don't you think he's getting that support now?
No.
You don't think he's still getting it?
Okay, this is a great comment. Mm-hmm. And as always, when someone from Serbia makes a comment, we try to read that. Why is that, Carlo? Because like 12% of our viewers are from Serbia. Mm-hmm. And it's not that we're pro-Serbia or whatever. It's just that I feel like I've always felt like, and by the way, if you go to our analytics, it's the U.S. subscribers are only like 23%, and Serbia's at like 13%, and the other rest of the 100% is just with everyone else in between, and the hundreds of countries that there are. The reason why I really want to say that still Novak Djokovic gets almost zero of the spotlight as Father Time, 87-year-old Federer, and only clay court surface Rafa gets is this. We brought up at the beginning of the show that Real Madrid, the Madrid Masters 1000, had just increased the seating capacity of their courts, right? Mm-hmm. The owners or the trustees of that tournament that make the calls, make the shots, have postulated that they would like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer to have an exhibition match to sell out the stands, to have everyone there watching.
Rios never won a slam.
Rios never won a major. That furthers your naivety in your tennis history.
He never won a slam. He wasn't a complete player. Hewitt could volley.
We have, by the way, Marcellus Rios, by the way, been around him, strung rackets therein. And by the way, he was on this show, someone we have talked about, Carla and I, especially Carla over the years, and Carla's dad, and my father, and myself. If you have followed this channel, which obviously not, but we have done playlists or list of players that were.
Understand.
We have done the top players of all time that never won a major, right? And Marcela Rios is always on the list. So. Anyway,
I think you're thinking serve and volley. No, you can't serve and volley in this game. You say Nadal and Djokovic do not have a net game in terms of McEnroe, Edberg, Beckers, or net players, but they were serving volleyers in that era.
Yeah.
We're not talking about serve and volley. You have
to still be able to play the damn net.
Yes.
Why did Djokovic beat Medvedev so badly? Why?
He figured him out.
Djokovic even was so cocky. Love that. Let's boom. So Djokovic was so ballerific that before the match even came, a commentator from the Tennis Channel walked up to Novak and said, Novak, what do you think you're going to do to try to defend against this really hot Medvedev? You know, they handed the microphone to Djokovic. You know what Djokovic said? He was kind of giggling. He was kind of laughing. He was like, well, he better get a forehand and better learn how to play the net because I'm going to drop shot him and I'm going to hit to his forehand all day.
But he said
he didn't say those exact words, but he alluded to that.
Yeah.
And what happened during that match, Carla? He did the same thing.
Yeah.
He brought him in, drop shot, exploited his net game, and he got destroyed. So before you make more comments about the shittiness of the net game and who cares about it.
You would be telling me about them. They would be saying we can't coach.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways.
It's the players that never learn the net that when they meet someone that's an all-around player.
My first lesson was in net, by the way. But my dad hired this watermelon pro guy, and I had a wooden racket. Knew nothing about tennis. He said, just stand there, close to the net. And he said, I'm going to aim for you, and you block. Didn't even show me how to volley. And I just blocked. That was like my first lesson. So I wasn't scared of the ball. And I could,
All right. Did you have a segment about...
Yeah, I did about the ladies.
The ladies.
Mm-hmm.
The next segment is this. Carla and I came up with a list of 4 ladies that have been either former slam champions, major champions, that have come close to winning them or are on the cusp of winning one. But yet they have all kind of found themselves modeling or Instagram modeling or swimsuit shoots or whatever. So this segment is which of these 4, you have 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which of these 4 players actually would be the most successful if they hung up the rackets and actually just stuck with that?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Sloane Stephens is in this category. You read an article where she said she wants to win another slam?
Yeah.
Well, she's 0 for 4 for the year, and she was the number 1 seed at this tournament in Monterey. Yep. Was it Monterey? Yep. And she loses to a lucky loser, Kuchova. 6-2, 6-2. Anyways, I don't think that's happening.
So what we're going to do is we're going to show you 4 pictures, A, B, C, and D, in no particular order. And we want to hear the vote on which female would have the better career as of right now in terms of hanging up their tennis rackets and sticking with modeling. Let's see these things.
Here's number 1. Anybody know who that is? That's Bouchard. Okay. And I try to pick the best picture of them. Some pictures I thought were not great, but that's Georgie. Okay. Sloane Stephens. And here's Miss Sabalenka. All right. So let's go back. So which one, guys? William Spencer said Bouchard. Totally disagree with you. I was going to show one of her with her bathing suit, and I decided not to. Georgie, Sloane Stephens. I thought that out of all the 4 girls, Georgie would be the best model.
I was going to take Georgie too.
Yeah.
And look, honestly, I think the most beautiful is Sloane Stephens.
Sloane Stephens would have been my second.
Sloane Stephens is a really, really, really beautiful girl. I love the way she carries herself. She has these big, beautiful eyes that just kind of magnetize, at least me. Sloane Stephens is a very, very beautiful woman. And I mean that respectively and not any way, shape, or form negative. I could see Sloane Stephens being a global business owner. She just carries herself where you find yourself respecting her.
Actually, I could have picked many of Sloane Stephens. There were so many to pick from. I went to Bouchard's, and honestly, I had to like really scroll. I went to
Bouchard has no ass.
Nobody.
She has no butt.
Nobody.
She looks like a linguine noodle.
I looked at Georgie's, and I had to pick the most tasteful one because there are some that are.
But Georgie's never won a major.
She's beautiful. But then I looked at Sabalenka's, and she's just
she's the same as like Bouchard. They're just weird looking.
Yeah, she has some fun ones and some that didn't make her look.
So here's how I classified the four. Sloane Stephens is by far, in my opinion, the most beautiful and carries herself the best out of all of them. But she's won a major, and no one else has. So I think the context of this segment was which one would have a better career if they set down their rackets now, never returned to the game, and just stuck with that. Sloane Stephens has won a major. That gives her a lot of credibility in the tennis world for marketing, for business, for rackets.
Absolutely.
So I can't put her there because she's already done it. You know, let's look at some other players, one and done. The beautiful and lovely Ivanovic. There's so many, right? Over time. So I have to take Sloane Stephens out because she's a very credible business person. I guess my mindset was which one sets down the rackets now and can do the best. Sabalenka is just a one gear. She hits it hard and that's it. Kind of like Kara right now, who I hope she can add variety to, right? She just cranks it really hard all the time, and you can't make those shots all the time. And Sabalenka has no butt like Bouchard, so that just leaves Georgie. That's the only reason why I chose Georgie in your group of four. Sloane Stephens should take that, but Sloane Stephens has way more tennis cred than anybody else because she won the major. That's why I selected Georgie.
And there's I know someone said Bouchard because she's tall and blonde, but there's a lot of
not even attractive.
There's a lot of pro players that we don't know their names. You know, maybe in the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yeah, a lot of these Russian girls.
They are drop dead gorgeous.
Beautiful.
But we just don't know them. And
yeah, I mean, again, you can't tell me that Bouchard is beautiful. She's definitely not. She doesn't have a body. She doesn't have a figure. She just, like showing her stuff and selling herself out. Bouchard's not a pretty girl. She's just not. And who's the other one in there? Sabalenka's just not. She's not a very beautiful girl, but
no, she's pretty.
Not like Sloane Stephens or Georgie. But Sloane Stephens again won the majors, so that takes her out of the need to set the rackets down because she can sell anything tennis related because she's won a major. Georgie, can sell things not tennis related because of what she has, what her package is.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, you get what I'm saying?
Bouchard loses to first round to Zhu. She loses. She made a final at Guadalajara and loses to Tormo, so she's trying to get back in the tour. Sloane Stephens, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think Sloane said her ambition was to get back in the top 10 in the world and then as well to win a major. I hope she does that. I think it would be great. But look, she had to make it to U.S. Open final and beat Madison Keys in a relatively lackluster final to get that one. I think it's going to be much more difficult to do so right now with the likes of the women's top 10 or top 20 at this point. I think it's going to be very difficult for Sloane Stephens to win another major.
I agree.
If even making another second week, much less a final.
Okay.
All right, we're pretty good?
Yeah, I'm starving.
All right, everyone, thanks so much. We will see you next show. Again, I don't think anyone has answered the giveaway question. You can do it in comments after this show is downloaded, and you can watch it as a replay. The question is what is our second to the youngest child's name? We named her after a tennis player. Hint. And what is her age? All right. We always ask questions that are Googleable. Everybody watches the videos and they Google it up and they're like, hey, man, I watched it live. This person. So we tried to ask a question that was not Googleable. What is our second to the youngest child's age? Name. We named her after a tennis player. I'm giving you her. And what's my last question? Name. Age.
And who do we name her after?
Who do we name her after? And that's pretty simple if you know her name. All right, take care, everyone. Much love to you, and we will see you soon. That's it.
That's it.
Bye.
Adios.